guys doing? Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. Yeah. Let me know. Let me know. So, let's get the rotating going. Hope everybody is well. Cheers. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me or not. We'll see how many people are online. We're in a small group so far, but I'm sure we'll build up. It's been a while. I hope everything is well. So, stream quality update. Stream quality has been automatically lowered because the internet connection was not sufficient. What are you gonna do? All right, so what we'll do is we'll do the usual. We'll do the Q&A. And then after we do the Q&A, no, excuse me. We'll do the Q&A afterwards. I got a few things I want to take care of. That's pretty much it. And then we'll do a little Q&A. There we go. So yeah, if you can, let me know in the comments that you can hear me clearly. I haven't seen anybody give me any comments yet, so let me know. And I also do appreciate the thumbs. If you're new here, I'm Uncle Steph, and I talk about code. I talk about code. So there you go. All right, see what's going on. Are there comments enabled? I'm not getting any comments. Yeah. Comments are on. Comments are, they're not coming in though for some reason. That's weird. We got a bug, sir. My app is not showing me comments. Give me a second. I'm just working out some technical details. This is weird. This is weird. All comments. Oh, there we go. User error. User error. All right. Thank you. Hey, how are you? Okay, good. Sorry, I wasn't seeing my comments. I was wondering. So it's been a while. So we'll do a little Q&A. Mic volume and music volume are around the same volume. Can you please drop the music? Yeah, for sure. So let me know, how's the sound now? How's the balance now with everything? Hope everything is cool. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, if you have questions, bonjour, Uncle Steph. Sounds good. All right, good. Hello from Europe. We hear you 5. Okay, so everybody's cool. So let me know in the comments where you guys are watching from. Everybody finds that cool. So you say, greetings from Europe, he says. We hear you. So say greetings from Savannah, Georgia. Greetings from, I don't know, San Francisco, wherever you happen to be. That would be cool. All right, so yeah, so let me just jump into the subject at hand. So 2025, what's going to happen? It's just around the corner. You have all kinds of different opinions about where the economy is going. Let me bring up a couple of bullet points that I had mentioned in a previous video. So in 2022, when ChatGPT came out, it was November 2022, so 2 years ago exactly. And a lot of people were saying, ooh, that's the end of software development, except for me. So in 2022 in the US, if I recall, there was 9,160,000 jobs in the technology space in the US. 9,160,000, so 9.16 million jobs. And according to ChatGPT, right now there's 9.9 million tech jobs. Now, so that's a big increase, right? In the last 2 years, we see a pretty big jump in the number of tech jobs, despite what people were saying about the impact of AI on the tech space. Another interesting data point was that, yes, we did have some high-profile layoffs, Microsoft, and, Twitter, Intel. But Intel makes sense. That business is collapsing. And I think cumulatively, it was 126,000 jobs were laid off, maybe 146, something like that. So again, according to what the data I've seen, so you think if you have 9.9 million jobs and you have 140,000 layoffs, is that really something to be super concerned about, you know? No. The answer is no, of course. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's see what we got. All right, sounds good. We'll do some comments. Works fine on. Yeah, okay. Got some X people. All right. If anybody is on X, let me know. Nice. Oh, thank you. What's the music? It's just something. It's called. This music here is called Miles Beyond. It's basically somebody's take on Miles Davis. Opinion on WebSurf AI editor. I have not used it, so I don't have an opinion on that. All right, so I assume that the volume is okay with the mic versus the music. Let me know. Greetings from Europe. Okay, good. Sounds good. Evening from Germany. Nice camera angles. I appreciate that. Florida, very cool. Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll be in Florida later this year. Unfortunately, I won't be staying 4 months down there. I'll be flying into spots. I might fly into Vegas this year, actually, in fact. Mr. K says, hey, Steph, or Miss K, thanks for this. Any idea if freelance back-end work is viable solo project? Yeah, I think so it is. I've tried some website work recently and realized I'm more inclined to the dark side. Why not? Why not? I think when you're first starting out in the freelance space, you have to be more balanced and flexible in terms of the types of jobs you're going to take on at first. But that's okay because you're establishing yourself, you're learning how to do it. You see, being a freelancer and being a pro developer as well, there's a lot more to it than just the coding end of it. So especially in the freelance space, you're going to have to learn to manage your clients, manage your time, learn to bid, et cetera, and so on. So when you're first starting out in the freelance game, it pretty much almost doesn't matter what type of work you'll be doing, whether you're writing back-end code, front-end code, WordPress installs, Shopify. It doesn't matter. You just want to get some XPs. You want to log some time, build some reputation, learn how to be an effective freelancer. So when you first start off, I wouldn't even be so concerned about the money you make. You're just much more concerned about gaining those XPs. That's pretty much it. I hope that helps. Venezuela, very cool. Wow. India, nice. Brazil, LA. I like it. It's so interesting. Netherlands. Pass on that X stream. We need to get their live streaming together. Yeah. I find that they're still working on some hiccups on the Netherlands, Ontario, Canada, Germany, Accra, Ghana. Very cool. Place des Arts. Very cool. Just down the street from me, crystal clear, good. Do you use Eloquent for Studioweb or raw SQL wrapped in some helpers? I believe we're using Eloquent for the most part. Although for the occasional query, we've had some raw SQL. Studioweb, that's my learning SaaS, studioweb.com. It is very stable now, so we don't have to do hardly any changes these days. A lot of YouTube channels fear-mongering like that of VA Grid. Yeah, well, I find a lot of the people who are fear-mongering, they're not very experienced developers, if at all. Hey, Mr. Bishop, why don't you create content only for beginners, but also for working devs? So that's a good question. So I do two forms of content. I do fundamental beginner stuff, but actually in the beginner courses, I get into pretty advanced concepts as well. So I do the fundamental beginner stuff, but then I also do the very high level. So all the middle stuff, intro to React and so on, you can find plenty of that out there. What's hard to find actually is really good foundations training and really good, very advanced stuff. So I do both ends. I like working both ends. So plenty of stuff in the middle. That's why I do that. So like in my mentoring group, for example, and I'm not plugging, but I'm just saying, about 60%, 60, are total beginners. And the other 40% are pro developers. I have some people with 15 years experience in the program. And we have these bi-weekly discussions. We'll get into things like advanced architecture, One guy, for example, he's developing a Java-based SaaS. So he's doing it with Spring Boot, and sometimes we go deep into some architectural choices and so forth. So I discuss that. And we do the beginner stuff as well. So that's why I do the top end and the bottom end. I leave the middle to everybody else, because once you understand your basics of software development, once you have a good grasp of the fundamentals, you can go learn different libraries and frameworks fairly easily, especially with ChatGPT and other AI out there to help you. So, what else do we got? Are you human or AI? We could all be AI. I'm someone who would think that the simulation theory of existence is the most likely to be accurate. How would you tackle visibility as an expert contractor? I tend to only reach developers in my network through blogging, LinkedIn, and public speaking, not the CTOs and tech leads. Yeah, because the tech leads and the CTOs, they've kind of, they're really busy. They're really busy. So they don't need to learn, they don't need to be talking about too much Stefan has. They don't need to be talking too much about, recent events in the software, in the details, in the weeds of software developing, because they've been through all that. So they're much more concerned about the business end of things. So that's why you're probably not reaching the leads and the CTOs. That said, you have to think about your audience. Whenever you're looking to target a particular audience, you got to think about the psychology of the audience. What are they looking for, right? What do they want to see? And so you have to do that. I'm on X, started following on YouTube from Chile. Very cool, Next Vice. Yeah, let me know, Next Vice. Next Vice. Let me know how the stream is coming through on X. That would be cool. Joe Lewis, greetings from Birmingham, Alabama. Very cool. Hey, Steph, I have 15 plus years in the industry as a software developer. I've done a tiny bit of freelance work, but I'm curious for your take on being a consultant over a freelancer. It's a different game. If you're a consultant, you'll be working for medium to size companies. You'll be doing more chance you find yourself in the C# space, in the Java space, maybe mobile app space. Whereas if you're doing freelance, small business typically, a lot of web app, front end, back end, full stack, a lot of WordPress, perhaps e-commerce. So it's a different game. It's a different type of work. Again, these are generalities. Like you'll find freelance gigs where you might do an iOS app once every blue moon, but generally that's the way it goes. So it depends on what you like. When you work as a contractor, you're basically a temporary employee. So you have to adhere to the working schedule and the protocol, and adhere to the technology choices of the company and work in accordance to whatever specifications they have in place. Whereas if you're a freelancer, it's a whole different game where you're basically a different company. You work on your hours, your time. A lot of times you can suggest what technologies to use, what not to use. It's much more free, but you have much more responsibility. So I've done a few contracts, not many. Most of my work was either freelancer or my own SaaS products. So yeah, when you're freelancing, you have more responsibility, you have a lot more control. It's a different game. I prefer freelancing over contracting. The one advantage of contracting, by the way, is once you're established in that field, you can make a lot of money, that's for sure. And it's also less responsibility. Because when you're a contractor, you're typically slotted into a position. You're slotted into a position, and you just have that responsibility. You don't have to worry about anything else. So I remember one of the first contracts I got back in 1990, it was either 95 or 96. And This is just hot water, by the way. That's what happens. You get really old, like me, 169 years old. You start sipping on hot water. Anyway, so I got this contract working for a publicly traded company, and my job was just to do the help file system. That's it. I was just putting to code the help file system. And I had no care in the world about any other aspect of the software. Every other aspect of the project, it was not my responsibility. It had nothing to do with it. I just had to do this one thing, and I was paid very good money. I remember at the time, what was I being paid? This is back in the night. I think I was being paid $800 a day at the time, which is good money for 1996, I think it was, 95. That's pretty good money. So, yeah. And I didn't have to care about anything else. But when you're a freelancer, typically you have the whole responsibilities on your shoulders. You have to manage the project, organize it, make sure it gets deployed live. Any problems happens, it's your problem. Whereas a contractor, you just have to worry about your slice of things. So it depends on what you like. Hey guys, if you like this stream, please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to ask a couple questions actually as well. Of you guys. So one of the things I talk about on my stream typically. So if you're a total beginner, where's this thing here? Let me hold this. If you're a total beginner and you want to learn web design, development, and coding, and I have a book. It's on Amazon. I don't make any money on this anymore. I got paid at my upfront, so I'm not doing this to shill for my money. But if people like to read a book, there's my book on web design. I wrote this 10,000 years ago, but I wrote this to be evergreen. And everything in here, by the way, is still 100% relevant. So pretty cool. If you want to learn the basics, the foundations of the web stack and web design, check it out on Amazon. You can probably get it secondhand for hardly anything. Might be in a library as well. So I wrote this book a while back. And if you are already somebody who understands development and you want to raise your game, you want to pick it up, you want to get to the next level, instead of learning a new library or a new language, although that would help, I would recommend this book. The links are below, by the way, under this video. So this is the book. This is the Java version. There's also a JavaScript version. Refactoring is a process of cleaning up your code, and it also teaches you to write better code. So this is one of the few books I kept from this is from 1999. I think this is the 1999 edition. Or is it the 2000? Oh, this is the 2003 edition. But I had the original. And so this is one of the few books that I kept from the 90s. Because it's that good. Anyhow, so there you go. Those are my book recommendations. We'll do a few more questions. All right. Is it possible to compete in contracting in high-tax countries? My rates need to be between 190 and 100 euros, whereas the countries in East Europe with great devs have rates along 50 euros. See, a big part about being a contractor is being a good communicator, to be able to provide much more than just the coding, be able to communicate with the clients, to be able to hash out requirements, deliver on requirements. So the cheap Eastern European devs that might compete with you, they might compete with you with certain companies, but other companies will pay the extra to have somebody local who can communicate very effectively. So yeah, that's all out there. Yeah, I appreciate the thumbs. If you guys can give me some thumbs, I'd appreciate, the Google algorithm. You know how that is. One last recommendation, then we'll jump more. So because I'm an old geezer, I have old geezer stuff. So if you like political drama, if you like Game of Thrones and you want to see the lowest quality in terms of sets and costumes you can possibly have, but a fantastic story, I recommend this. This is a series from the 1970s called I, Claudius. You can get it on YouTube. So this, by the way, is called a DVD. This is a set of DVDs. I bought this ages and ages ago, before the YouTube was a major thing. So this is I, Claudius. If you like political thrillers, This is a superb, the books are great too. It's based on his books. Fantastic books you like to read. I recommend them highly. And this is a very well acted series from, I think it was the BBC, yeah. The BBC. So yeah, there you go. I, Claudius. Fantastic. So let's go back. Get some questions. I think I got your beverage. Yeah, the beverage is just hot water right now. I drink too much coffee. How we doing? All right. Hi, Uncle Steph. What will the job market be like for a junior dev from South Africa in Canada coming next year? Well, I don't have a crystal ball. There might be some hiccups over the next 6 months or a year because of the U.S. Election. Whenever this is a pretty profound one, and I think there'll be a little bit of shakeups, but no matter what you think about the people involved in the election, the current administration is very pro-business. So I think that's going to be positive for jobs going forward. I don't want to get political in the stream. This is a non-political stream. I'm just looking at this from a business person. If you don't know, I've been a developer for 30 years, but I've been running businesses for actually longer. My first business had nothing to do with tech. So I have a pretty decent understanding of business cycles. So I think based on what I'm hearing in terms of policy, I think it'd be very positive for business. So again, not political, just talking pure business here. So I can't say what's exactly it's going to happen here. Welcome to Canada, though, by the way, when you get here. But, just start making contacts, start reaching out, build up your portfolio. You should be fine. The tech sector, I think, is about to, we're going to see a big boom coming up, I think, within the next year. Greetings from Mexico. Hey, thanks, man. Watching from Brazil. Very cool. Yeah. When building apps as a developer, do you have to focus on vulnerabilities for cybersecurity purposes? No, not really. It's not a super concern. Now, in terms of vulnerabilities for web apps, it's number one, it's the server. So your hosting company should provide that. They should have firewalls in place, ports should be blocked, etc., and so forth, right? That's number one. Number two, the other major vulnerability is typically in the database. So just use prepared statements if you're using a relational database so that there's no SQL injections. Have strong passwords, and I think that would be good. Now, if you're doing banking apps or something like that, which, you rarely do that these days, then you're going to have to take it to a whole new level, But that's pretty much it. So good server will lock down, a good host will lock down the server properly, so you don't have to take care of that. And just make sure your database queries are protected against SQL injection and so forth, and have good passwords. Here's an expert tip about password. Do not use the word password as your password. By the way, people used to do that a lot back in the day. Believe it or not. Yo, you decide on moving yet? Yeah, I do want to. And I have to see how I'm going to approach that. But yes, I do want to. 100%. Hey, how you doing, man? Long time. What's going on? Hold on. Add to my question. I keep hearing about Canadian experience. Oh, you mean Canadian? You mean working? What do you mean? Like having experience working for a Canadian company? Let me know, Mr. Bihari. Let me know what you mean by that. How can I battle job hopping concerns raised by recruiters? I have about 5 years, never stayed longer than 1 year at a job, but leveled up quite a bit and now senior software engineer at a FANG. Wow. I think if you got a senior developer job at a FANG, I think you can tell the recruiters to, take a walk. I think you're okay, buddy. Yeah, you don't want to switch jobs too often, because when you get hired, there's an investment in that employee. So if you switch too often, there could raise some concerns. But if you got a job at a FANG, I think you're okay. I think they found you more than qualified, right? Hello, hola, how are you? All right, how are we doing here? 124. Okay, so another thing I want to bring up before I continue with the questions. I'll get to your questions soon. So I haven't talked about this enough. I'm guilty. So I do have, let me pause this here, hold on. I do have a Discord. Is it, can we see it? Oh, there we go. So here's the Discord channel right here. Isn't that nifty? So let me get this smaller. There we go. So I do have a Discord. I invite you. Links below. It's pretty populated. Good group. We got good Discord managers in there. And yeah, so I invite you to check it out. Links below. Yeah, so we have a lot of users, as you can see. So it's free, of course, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to continue the conversation that we're having here on the show, you can definitely do that in the Discord. Links below. There you go. So I invite you to check that out. Let me go back to this. All right. Cool. Do you have any tips on how to negotiate equity in a small company? I've done salary, but don't know how to do equity, especially when I don't know how much the C-suite owns, our operating costs, etc. Well, if you find that you're becoming very valuable as an employee, then and you see that, I want to pester them, but you can start talking about that, about whether or not there is, what I would say is there an opportunity for equity given my contributions in the company? That's what I would say, first of all. So yes, you bring it up. You bring it up. Make sure you bring it up though when with the backdrop, with the foundation that you're providing some pretty significant contribution to the business. And that's how you start that. Yeah, then you have to look at, those are good questions, by the way. You don't know how much, excuse me, let me just read this here. But don't know how to do equity, especially I don't know how much the C-suite owns, our operating costs, et cetera. Yeah, so those are factors, but you have to bring up the whole idea at first and then take it from there. That's kind of part of the negotiations, But it's not, how much the C-suite owns, it's almost irrelevant, really, because if they're the founders, they're the founders. So, but you have to bring it up. So bring it up delicately and with respect, and see how they manage that. How would you handle client requirements in a multi-tenant SaaS that would break? Let me check this. Hold on. Break the main SaaS behavior for other clients, but you must implement the incompatible feature. How would you handle client requirements in a multi-tenant SaaS that would break the main SaaS behavior for other clients, but you must implement the incompatible? Ooh. Well, if you implement the new functionality, I would use something called the, what's it called? It's called the decorator pattern. So essentially, you would inject the new functionality as a library, if you will. Look up dependency injection. I used to use it all the time as a servlet filter. So you would add the new functionality, and this functionality would only kick in when a certain users or a certain group of users would be using the app. So it would not disrupt. What's this? So it would not disrupt the, hold on a second. It would not disrupt the other users, and you wouldn't be impacting the core functionality of the app. So if you can, you would just create almost another app on the side, and it would inject itself when need be. I don't know if that helps, but you may want to look at that. Do you think using GPT a lot as a program makes you not so good because you don't really think, but just copy and paste code? What are your thoughts? I think you should use GPT as much as possible. Remember my top 3 rules of development. Rule number 1, reuse. Rule number 2, reuse. Rule number 3, you reuse. So you always don't want to write code unless you absolutely have to. So if GPT allows you to get the job done, then use GPT. For simulation content, check out ArcX, fascinating stuff. Hi, sir, can you tell us how you started? I started in 1994, early 95, and I had a weird business. I had a rare fish business, water purification business, filtration business, and my brother said to me, you should set up a website. And I said to him in 1994, I said, what is a website? And so I learned HTML, and I built my first website. Then I learned a little Perl CGI, and I started adding the infamous or famous guestbook application, and I took it from there. That's how I started. And then I left sold my part of my business, and it was like late 95, early 96, and then I became a full-time freelancer. I had done my first commercial gig, besides my own website, for a legal firm. I think it was in 95. That's how I started. Hey, what are your thoughts on Java, HTMX, and Spring Boot? Should we start moving away from the heavy JS frameworks like React, Quick, Svelte, and such? It depends. Depends in what context. Are you asking me in terms of job availability? I don't think you're going to see too many jobs with HTMX, relatively speaking. I think React is going to be dominant for quite a while. I can't say about Quick or Svelte. I cannot say that properly. If, on the other hand, you're thinking about building a startup or doing freelance, then yeah, I would look to more lightweight stuff as opposed to heavy-handed implementations. Yeah, I hope that helps. I have become a React dev for 1.5 years with self-study, local bootcamp, and motivation from you. Well, I'm glad I could help. Congrats. So thank you a lot. Now I have an issue to grow into senior level and will be nicer to get your wisdom. Well, you're just starting out. That's cool. Just keep working on projects, keep challenging yourself. If you got to, like I would say, get this refactoring book. There we go. Get this refactoring book, learn to refactor code, or get the JavaScript version, if that's better for you. And that will make you a better developer. But just keep working on it, man. Congratulations. Good stuff. I feel like I didn't learn enough skills in my bachelor's degree since we don't do any projects utilizing C++. What do you recommend I do? Well, Jeff, I would just start writing code. Just start writing code, you know? You learn best by writing code. You learn best by doing. Like when I was learning to fight, the quicker and the more often I got into the ring and actually sparred and fought with people, the more quickly I became a better fighter. So same thing with coding. You learn a lot by doing. So get your foundation. What I do when I train people in my mentoring program, I get the foundations done. I get them quickly up to speed with the foundations. And then we get them into projects as quickly as possible because that's how you learn. That's how you learn. It's kind of like dating. You can read all the books you want about dating, but you don't really become good at dating until you start dating. So you got to start dating. MySQL 8 brings a huge performance boost. Are you planning to upgrade Studioweb to MySQL 8? We might be on it. I'm not sure. I have to go check. I have a fully managed VPS, and we haven't had any complaints about speed on Studioweb. So how can I get a job if I learned React? Well, set up your resume. Get your LinkedIn up to date, get it polished, start reaching out to people, join local dev communities. All that plays a role. All right, so what's your roadmap when you started? Well, what I did was, very different in terms of the exact technologies, because things have changed quite a bit from 96. But generally speaking, I recommend that you learn the web stack and then start building stuff and take it from there. So I've tried dandelion root tea. Tastes exactly like coffee. Lets you drink coffee all day without the side effects. Huh. That's cool. I'll try that. A dandelion root tea. I'm going to take a screenshot of that so I don't forget. All right, I'll try that out. And build 2 medium projects. Any thoughts on Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation? Oof, that's a good question. Generally speaking, I don't like touching assets that have run up quite a bit in a short period of time, because there's usually a correction. I can't say where Bitcoin's going to be 6 months from now or 5 years from now. I don't know. But it's looking pretty good for it, right? Especially with the new U.S. election, people there in the administration, Trump and so on, they seem to be very pro-Bitcoin. So when you got the president of the U.S. and his cabinet are pro-Bitcoin, that says something very positive. That being said, it could crash 20,000 in next week or two, or it could keep going up. I don't know. The best time to have gotten into Bitcoin is after the last crash. So when last time it had a big run up, it went up to 17,000. And I was suggesting to people to wait, because after you see big run ups, assets tend to correct and go down. So it went down to 3,000 after that, and it stayed down there for years. But now if you would have held, you're doing fantastic. So the key to investing is to be very diversified and buy when people don't want to buy, and to stay for the long haul. What's that old expression? Getting rich in the market it's not about timing the market, but it's about time in the market. So you want to get in, and you want to just hold until you sell for retirement or something. So Bitcoin could be a great hedge. I couldn't say. I would say, if I had to bet, I would say it's probably a good hedge at this point. But I'm not recommending anything. It's not my... I don't have a crystal ball. I'm new to your channel. Are you still working at any software company? Can anyone in the chat tell me? No, I own my SaaS business called Studioweb, where I supply curriculum software and classroom management tools for schools and districts. I've been doing that for 14 years. I've been a serial entrepreneur. So now I'm actually, believe it or not, I really like doing the social media, training people. I mentor people. It's fun for me. So I'm doing this. I think I'm going to do more of that going forward. Let me ask you in the comments, guys, and girls, if any girls in there, all 3% of the women in this group, let me know if I'm thinking of, I have my other channel, been dabbling other things, but I'm really thinking of going deeper and much deeper into the entrepreneur end of things, the business end of things. I have decades of experience in that as well. So I'm thinking of going deeper into that. So let me know in the comments if any of you are interested. Let's say, yes, I'm interested in the entrepreneur, freelance, business, investment end of things, or say, no, just stick to code. Let me know. I'm thinking of getting into that as well. Everything I talk about, by the way, guys, is based on personal experience. I don't get into things that I only have theoretical knowledge about. I stick to things that I've done for real. So when I talk about martial arts and fighting, I've done a lot of it. I talk about business, a lot of it. Talk about coding, I've done a lot of it. Talking about almost dying quite young, did that too. So everything I talk about, I've done for real. So anyway, let me know. How many of you are interested in the business and the finance end of things? Like, for example, Would you be interested in discussions about how to take an idea, for a SaaS product, for example, how to take it from conception to development, take it to market, getting your first clients, managing clients, maybe in the freelance space? Would it be interesting to hear different stories about different types of projects I worked on, some of the challenges that you have, where the focus should be? Let me know about these things. Oh, yeah. While I'm waiting for that. So people have been watching about a year ago. Man, not a year ago. Almost a year ago. So BenQ monitor manufacturer, they sent me a couple of monitors, and I gave away the monitors. Did I give away? Yeah, I gave them away. I gave away one in Florida, and did I give away another one? Anyway, I gave them away. And so they're not a sponsor. They just send me free stuff. And I said, okay, fine. I think it adds kind of spice to the channel. So I have another monitor. They have a new monitor. It's out now. It's a coding specific monitor. Again, not sponsored. I'm not being paid. They just send me stuff. And I'm going to do a review on it. I don't know if some people have expressed an interest. So this is the one I got here. Hold on. I haven't even opened the box yet. So I got this. Apparently it's a coding specific monitor. Get this out of the way. So we'll be doing a review soon. So stay tuned. Let me know if you're interested about that. There you go. Yeah, so let me know if that's interesting to you or not. More monitor reviews and crap like that. If you've learned React, you've just put yourself in a bad position since you can only do React. Learn how to build software and you'll be printing money. If you're just a React person, you've done a couple React tutorials, then you need to do some more work, but that's a good start. That book helped me so much at start. That book helped me so much at start, man. Nothing ever worked in your courses, and book did the trick for me. Well, I appreciate it. He's talking about my web design book. I wrote it 10,000 years ago, and everything in here is 100% relevant. You can even see pictures of young Uncle Steph when I still had my hair. If you're a beginner, a total beginner, and you want to understand the web stack and coding and stuff, and you like books, you get it for like $10 on Amazon, My interactive training courses, though, are much better. But this is great. Trust me. And if you understand James Joyce, there's a secret story, subplot in the book that I can't talk about in public. Anyway. Good. I'm glad the book helped, man. Cool. Hope life is treating you well, Steph. You have been a huge inspiration for me. I appreciate you and this community that you have built. Great. Thanks, Cody. I'm glad I could help. Cool. How are we doing for time? All right. How has life in Canada changed since 2020? I don't know. I think it's gotten a lot more difficult for people because of inflation. Not good. Inflation's not good. And inflation is caused by government spending, nothing else. So they're going to have to fix that. It's interesting. When software gets old, I'm going to get a little philosophical, but it's philosophy grounded in practical experience. When software gets old, it gets more and more difficult to maintain. So eventually a piece of software has to be totally refactored or thrown in the trash and started over again. So for example, biggest example is, of course, I know of, is Mac OS. So Mac OS versions 1 through 9 was based on the same code base, Pascal. And then Steve Jobs comes back into the picture, I guess, was it 210 or something? No, not 210. 207? No, before that. Anyway, so Steve Jobs comes back at some point, and he says Mac OS the code base is horrible. It's too messed up. It's old. It's filled with garbage. It was really unstable. It's not good. It was designed for hardware from a different era. And they kept patching it, trying to get it to work. But at some point, you have to make that decision with the piece of software. You have to say, we have to start over here. So he made the brave decision, Jobs did, to go to OS X, which is FreeBSD, a Unix flavor. And that's the foundation of all modern iOS and macOS today. It's far better than the old macOS. Like, it's not even close. So there's a point when a piece of software gets so complex, so convoluted, so patched up that you have to rewrite. I had the same thing with Studioweb, by the way. After version 1 through 3, after several years, I had to pull that trigger as well. We had to rewrite from scratch because it was just a mess. Because, you got new developers come in and out, and you patch, and you have emergency fixes that have to be made, and it becomes a mess. So I had to do the eject. We did a rewrite from scratch. It's far better. So the problem that we're having, all that said and done, so the problem that we're having in the West right now is we have old governments that are they're just like old software, big and very expensive, very messy. They have to clean house. It's unfortunately that's the situation we run into. Bureaucracy kills everything. So right now we're seeing Canada in that state right now. I have to deal with it as a business owner. It's a real pain. I have to do stuff that it shouldn't have to do. And I'm not even complaining about cost. I'm talking about just red tape and headaches. So we need around the West, we need to streamline these systems, just like old software needs to be streamlined. It's just normal. It's part of life. How long would it take to build my own platform? Well, it depends. If your platform is it's just going to boil water or something, it will take you a day. But if it depends on how, Mr. Code Clown, depends how complex your software needs are going to be. I have a business idea, but I don't know coding. What percentage you think is fair to ask for a Steve Jobs role? What is I'm trying to understand what you're saying. If you have a business, you don't know coding. Well, you're saying you want to be a Steve Jobs. Okay. It depends. Depends how. That's a negotiation. It really depends on what you bring to the table, what the developer brings to the table. If you finance it a certain amount up front, etc. It's a very what I would suggest, depending on your age, if you're young and it's not like a super complex project, maybe just learn the foundations of coding and maybe try to build a real primitive prototype. Why do you do that? Because when you come without that skill set and you come with even that prototypical product, it gives you a lot more negotiating power. So it might be worth for you to put the 6 months into it, the 8 months into it, working like a madman to gain that position. Does that make sense? Because remember, business partners are like marriage. You're marrying somebody without the fun. You know what I mean? So you got to be very careful about bringing on a business partner. Be very careful indeed. To be a valuable consultant, you not only need to know the code, but you need to be an expert in one or more business domains. Companies will pay you gold to solve their problems. Yeah, pretty much. I talk about that all the time. Business domain. How can I get a freelance job as a React developer with $600 per month if I'm from Egypt? I don't know. Problem is, I'm not from Egypt, so I'm not sure how that works. If you want to, communication skill is something that developers and aspiring developers underestimate. You need to become a very good communicator. You have to become a very good communicator to be successful in the space. Let's see, I'm going to scroll down here. Louise says, thoughts on your Paul X Tyson fight? I'm not sure how much Mike was fighting. Like, he looked really slow and stuff, but then when you saw him do pad work, he was much faster. I don't know if he had burnt himself or he was pulling his punches. You know, I didn't have high expectations. I didn't have high expectations, but whatever. All right, I'm just going down. See, would you be more? Yes, interested in biz. Interested. You want to hear more about entrepreneurship? It would be interesting as well. I think it'd be a good move to expand the channel for sure. Help folks not really hear about that. Love to hear more about business. Definitely yes. Hey, what's up? Hey, how are you doing, man? Be sure. I'm just checking out the questions here. More business freelance is always good, and maybe problem-solving tips, architecture, design topics, specifically for Freelancer SaaS. Big yes. Very interested. Whole cycle, yes. Good. All right. Yes, do a SaaS video, but you should. But should the freelancer stop freelancing when running a SaaS? Well, time will dictate that. You know, if you have time, you do both. If you need the money, but if you don't have if you have the money and the SaaS business is growing, then you can pull back on the freelance. Freelancing is a very good. It's a very good first business because there's no investment really, hardly. You just need a laptop. You learn about business, you learn about negotiations and contracts and so on. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, freelancing is a good way to start. Now, you can make a fortune. You can make a lot of money as a freelancer and a contractor, but if your ultimate goal is, I don't know, run a SaaS product or something, freelancing is still a good way to jump in, you know? Definitely do the unboxing of the monitor. Oh, very, very cool. I'll be doing it very soon. I have one myself. I like it. I need to get this new monitor. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Like I had BenQ's entry-level monitors, and they were good. They're really good. I used them when I was down in South Florida for 4 months. I had only brought my laptop with me, so I called up BenQ, or they called me up and said, "Yeah, send me a couple of monitors." And I used one for myself. I gave away one, and then I used that other one for the 4 months I was there. It was great, and it was an inexpensive monitor. This one's more high end, but it's still much cheaper than this one I'm using right now, which is the Mac one. So we'll see how that goes. I literally I can drop by and take that monitor. There you go. Maybe. I'll let you know. I have to see what I'm going to do with this. I'm not sure. Skip my question. Did I? Okay, we'll see if we can get floaty leaf. Hold on. Hey, Steph. There we go. Hey, Steph, I'm 1 semester away from graduating with an AAS in computer programming, but I want to get another degree in cyber defense as well. Can you speak about the pros and cons of both? Well, when you're evaluating your degrees, you have to evaluate the job opportunities. Like how many more job opportunities or how much more salary, what advantage is there to getting this other degree? You know, a lot of people stay in school for a while because they don't want to get into the workforce. I'm not saying that's you, but it might be. I don't know. So yeah, pay attention to what are the job opportunities, what are the advantages of the new degree provides. Look at the job market. Talk to people in industry. You know, if you're going to make a big decision like that, it makes sense to do a little bit of research up front before you jump in, you know. Just a little bit of research. It's been a long time since I've seen a DVD. Steph, do you remember the days of Laserdisc? Yeah, I'm that old. I didn't have them. A friend of mine had Laserdisc. We had videotapes, though. We had videotapes. I remember my parents bought in 1980. They bought one of the very first VCRs. And what did we get? We got 2 movies. We got Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon, I think it was 78, 79 movie. That was one movie you got. I forget the second one we got. Yeah, that was one of the first movies they bought. I'm a second year student in the UK. Do you think Golang is a good choice for my future career? Again, look at the job opportunities, and you're still second year. You have to understand, Nazir, professional developers will very often switch from this language. So you might start with Go and C++, and you find yourself doing Java. You might do C#, you might do some Python, you might do some, Rust. You never know. It's very common to switch languages. So don't get too concerned about what language you're learning now. It's not really that important because you'll switch it around quite a bit. That being said, look at the market. Golang programmers are working for certain companies, very different companies probably than, say, a Java programmer or maybe a PHP developer for sure. So pay attention to that so much more, Hope that helps. Greetings from London. Ahmad, you could apply to Cairo. There you go, sir, some advice. Yeah, so I'm doing it up, leaving Canada. Link below, there's a Discord channel, Discord server, so you can continue the conversations there. It's a good group, I recommend. Let me pause this. Here it is. There's the Discord server, not bad. Go here, desktop, there we go. So yeah, check out the Discord server here. We got a few people who join. It's links below. It's a pretty popular group. There's people in there, different ages, different levels. So here's Ghost Ninja. Hello, YouTube. And so I recommend join the Discord. So, because I'm about to finish the stream, so you can continue the conversation. Down there. So back here. All right. What percentage of frameworks do you have used in your projects? What do you mean percentage? You mean percentage of all frameworks out there? Help me to understand. I use frameworks quite a bit over the years. Hey, Uncle Steph, what's your take on transitioning from software dev to cloud engineering DevOps? Is that common among devs with 5+ years experience? I don't know how common that is. But if you see a job opportunity or something you like, then do it. I got that one. That one. Okay, I'm going to answer the last few questions and then we'll head off. Hey, guys, if you don't mind, we're 143 people. If you can give me some thumbs love. That doesn't sound good. Give me some thumbs up. You know how the Google algorithm works. And if you have any questions after the live is done, put them in the comments below. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did some shilling for PayPal in my previous videos. If you can go watch it if you don't mind. I use PayPal, by the way. I've been using them for 20 years plus. I still use them today. I think it's a good product, and so I did this partnership with them. So if you want to check that out, that would be appreciated. Yeah, here we go. Steve says, I get that my situation is very specific and I'd want to get tailored advice for it. Okay, I guess I missed the first half of that question. Yeah. All right, guys. We're 2 minutes, 58 seconds and 58 minutes and 52 seconds. I'll be signing off. And my name is Alpha, loving the stream with 2 years in backend dev, Python.js. I'm drawn to finance/health. Java and C# dominate there. Should I switch stacks? If so, which would you recommend and why? Yeah, finance, health, I can see Java, C#. I would poke around, look at the job market, look at the type of companies. I would poke around, maybe do like some basic research on Java versus C#. If see what you like. A lot of times, a lot of this comes down to personal choice. Some people like this, some people like that. Depends what you like to do. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. If you do like my stream, do give me a thumbs up. If you like my hat, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like my hat, give me 2 thumbs down. And that's pretty much it. Links below for the books I mentioned, and check out the Discord, links below. There you go. All right. Leave comments. If you want more of these live streams, let me know. And that's pretty much it. That's all. So I'll leave you with my ASMR video from Maine. And we'll see you in the next stream, guys. Thanks for watching. Nope. Try that again.